Multi-gun competition is a test of the competitor's skill with rifle, pistol, and shotgun. One gun or a combination of all three may be needed to complete a course of fire. This is the format that is growing in popularity on an annual basis and is seen on ranges across the country. But among all the big multi-gun matches, there is only one hosted by the U.S. Army and held on an active U.S. Army installation, the Fort Benning 3-Gun Challenge. It is a multi-gun match without equal. It is the only opportunity for civilians to run and gun on an Army installation and experience some of the assets that make the U.S. Army the greatest fighting force in the world. But why would the most effective military organization in the world put this much effort into this 3-gun match? Well, there are two big reasons.
A lot of these people, I view them as a center of influence. I view them as someone that can make a profound impact on our youth. And by having a positive experience here at the Fort Benning 3-Gun Challenge, all of these people will interact with soldiers. All of these people who come here to Fort Benning 3-Gun Challenge will interact with soldiers from the U.S. Army Marksmanship Unit. And in doing so, they're going to see that soldiers represent the best in this nation. Soldiers live by the Army values.
In addition to the good PR, this is also a chance to evaluate the newest technology and techniques in shooting.
At the U.S. Army Marksmanship Unit, we use the term competition to combat. The lessons learned in competition and the techniques used and also the technology that influences competition has direct application to military use in combat.
Sergeant First Class Aaron Hampton is tracking with the commander's train of thought.
No doubt about it, the competition does translate into betterment in combat. There's a lot of, we talk about it all the time, a lot of the misconceptions about shooting in competition versus shooting in combat and shooting in real life. And the fact is, if I can shoot faster and more accurate than my enemy, then I'm going to be more lethal, and my survivability increases because of that. And the best way to simulate that stress of combat and being shot at is to put yourself on a clock and try to beat yourself or beat the best in the country. So a competition like this really provides that crucible for you to put all that training together.
In exchange for the intel from the competitors, the Army rolls out some otherwise inaccessible hardware, like the Stryker vehicle that transports shooters to one of the courses of fire. The challenging Stage 1 starts with competitors hoisting all equipment up to the elevated shooting platform. From position 1, they engage 6 rifle targets set at unknown distances out to 500 yards. Then it's a short sprint to retrieve the shotgun and take 8 claybirds, one of which is a flyer. Finally, it's pistol shots on 4 steel poppers at a downward angle. The challenges are just what junior standout Blake Manning is looking for.
Just like shooting. It's enjoyable. 3 guns are a great sport, and it's just fun to shoot.
Stand by.
The next stage also incorporates some military hardware. Shooters first engage a target board with the M249 grenade launcher and a training grenade. Then it's rifle to clear the way into the 2-story shooting scenario where they transition to pistol for close quarters targets. Jason Tilkey makes short work of the stage, and the fun factor of the Army hardware being in play is not lost on him.
It's been great, a lot of fun. Get to shoot some interesting stuff. The 203 and the SAW earlier.
Charlie 1 Delta.
Nothing you get to do normally around at your local matches.
Something else you rarely see at a local match is the M249 Squad Automatic Weapon, or SAW. This time, each competitor gets 20 rounds on the belt to dispatch 2 steel poppers. This makes for some sustained fire before the shooters run into the house with 11 shotgun targets and another 6 pistol targets. The challenge here is even greater for the heavy metal division shooters like Hurley Ryder. With the required pump shotgun and single stack 1911 in .45, the heavy metal shooters have a lot of work to do, but Hurley is up to it.
It's an honor for me to come here as a civilian
to forward bending and compete, and it just shows that what the Army has to offer a young person. This is a good showcase to show young people what the Army has to offer.
That is exactly the reaction Colonel Hornady hopes this event will create.
The biggest thing that I can ask for all of our competitors is to share their positive experiences with the Army with all of the people who they can make an impact on in their lives, our youth, their friends, their mentors, and present the Army in a positive image.
You're watching Shooting USA, America's #1 source for firearms news and information.
The members of the U.S. Army Marksmanship Unit have a serious role to fill in their branch. They create and refine the small arms training doctrine. Well, that's quite similar to the assignment the Marine Corps Combat Shooting Team has as they compete to test and improve USMC arms. For both service branches, there's more to competition than just titles. You will be encouraged to know that the competition to combat theory is not a U.S. Army exclusive. The U.S. Marine Corps also subscribes to the idea. And Wounded Warrior James Gill, who we first met at the last Fort Benning 3-Gun Challenge, is now helping the Marine Corps team get a footing in multi-gun competition.
The best training aid that we have through 3-gun shooting is the scenario-based training. Every scenario is going to be different. And that was one of the aspects we had with our personal training packages, is that each unit wants something different. And with 3-gun, you see something different every stage. And the idea that we try and train for is being proficient with every weapon system in any situation that might present itself. Marine Corps marksmanship as a whole is very traditional. We're not getting away from traditional Marine Corps marksmanship, we're just adding to it. We're going a step beyond the basic Marine Corps marksmanship program, and basically getting guys more comfortable in an action scenario.
Sergeant William Hyatt is a longtime friend of James, and that got him interested in continuing his career with the Marine Corps team.
Originally, I got off my 3rd pump from Afghanistan and I was going to get out. Me and James Gill actually grew up together. We both enlisted in the Marine Corps together. He just told me about the program because he got recruited up there. He's like, why don't you just re-enlist and come up with me, get to keep shooting, stay in the Marines. So I went ahead and did that. And going there as a rifle and pistol expert in the Marine Corps means nothing out here. And I learned that day one when I started training with the rest of the team.
And just like the Army, what they learn on the competition ranges gets processed into training for battle.
We'll take this match back with us and we'll do an after-action report. We'll see what goods and what bads came out of it, what techniques made all these shooters shoot that much faster, that much more accurate, so we can apply that into our training, train the rest of the fleet. Sergeant
Michael Stahl echoes Sergeant Hyatt on the idea 100%.
We're getting a lot of good training out of it. These experienced guys that are out here, they help us out a lot, like I said. They give us a lot of good information, and at the same time, we get to bring that information back to the Marine Corps.
And for James Gill, his experience in the sport brings success to the team.
I was able to help the team and give them a little bit more direction than what they had. They had no guys on the team that were versed in what was going on. So I was able to put them on into some good training packages and equipment to look at, and start looking at how we recruit people into the program.
And shooting is also the way James is able to continue recovering and dealing with his injuries.
Physically, every day is another challenge. I might go for a week or two at a time where I don't have any problems, and then just one day, for whatever reason, it hurts a little more physically than it does. But I'm sure not stopping what I'm doing.
Our congratulations to Sergeant Gill on continuing his recovery and becoming an asset to his Marine Corps team. And coming next, the run for the win and the special prizes for the winners.
ShootingUSA.com, your resource for firearms news and information.
It is the most difficult multi-gun match to get into, selling out electronically in less than 10 seconds every year. The field of talent is the best in the world, and the courses of fire are as difficult as any seen in any other multi-gun match. So with all of that standing in front of the divisional winners, it seems fitting that the prizes should be just as special. It is the only multi-gun competition held on an Army installation, employing the combat assets of the greatest fighting force on the planet. The Fort Benning 3-Gun Challenge is a special multi-gun competition where the winners will earn some very special prizes.
We're Jeweler and Arms Inc., and this is Arms' first time ever being a supporter of a 3-gun event, teamed up and purchased a brand new Rolex Date Submariner Anniversary Edition for the winner of TAC Optics. And we feel that since TAC Optics is the vast majority of the field of competitors, that winner has overcome the most competition and is the overall winner. A trophy's nice, a check is good, trophy stays in your house, check goes in your bank account, and at some point it comes back out. But those timepieces are forever reminders of the accomplishment and the great things they did here in the FB3G 2010.
And the challenges in front of the competitors are every bit as demanding as the final prize is valuable. Case in point, Stage 9, also known as the trench stage. Shooters first engage a bank of steel at the far end of the bay with rifle from the oddly constructed barricade. Then it's a fast crawl under the simulated barbed wire to retrieve the pistol. There is a dark target inside the tunnel. The shooters have the option of using a supplied flashlight, though many don't. There are 16 total pistol targets throughout the trench, and Todd Jarrett makes the most of the available points, chasing the top position in TAC Optics.
Pretty tough little stage right here. Get your heart pumping. On top of that barricade, whew, that's some hard work shooting a 150-yard shot out there. Tougher than it looks.
Another shooter at the front of the race for the Rolex is Taryn Butler. He has won at Fort Benning before, and with a prize as valuable as the one offered this year, Taryn is fighting for every available point. His rifle shots are fast and accurate, giving him a bit of a lead on Todd, and from there he never looks back, taking full TAC Optics Division match points for this stage. The Open Division shooters face the same challenge on the stage, and it's clear that accurate rifle shots are critical to a good overall time. A point not lost on Clint Upchurch. Clint has the fastest wire crawl yet, and that will help him on the way to a best for the match time and full stage points for the Open Division.
It was tough. Tough stage. Rifle shooting's tough. Climbing up on that thing, and you're not very stable. So it was tough. And it's easy to get mixed up down in there. They got so much stuff hidden. You run right past them before you know it.
Jerry Michalak has been at the top here at Fort Benning in years past, and he knows that this match is never over until it's over.
One thing about this match, it's always something new. So you come here and think you know what you're doing, you better start over.
On the trench stage, Jerry doesn't need to start over, and his adjusted time is a solid one, but off the pace set by Clint Upchurch. With the fanfare surrounding the prize for the TAC Optics winner, it is easy to overlook the top prizes for the other divisions.
Oakley came through and said, you know what? We're going to give our top-of-the-line timepieces to the winners of each and every other division.
The Oakley Time Tank is a very valuable prize in its own right. And on the last stage for the Open Division leaders, no one is ready to give in. Chris Tilley sets the bar high, and his score will be tough to beat, but his late effort will not be enough to break him into the top 3 for the overall Open Division final. Clint Upchurch is fending off a couple of seasoned multi-gun veterans in Jerry Michalak and James Darst as he runs the final stage of his match. The Cooper Tunnel is a difficult challenge with penalty time added for each cross stick displaced. Clint works his way through, and once out the other side, it's all over as fast as he can point and shoot.
The tunnel was, I don't even know how to describe it. It was tough. It was tough. It was tight. Trouble finding a dot in there. You get the gun all turned over, you can't see it. Closing eyes and all kind of crazy stuff. Unique stage though. Never shot anything like it.
The last man with a chance to overtake Clint is James Darst, and James' rifle shots give him an edge on Clint, but once inside the Cooper tunnel, James struggles, giving up valuable seconds. But James still manages third place for the stage, solidifying a podium position in the open division. The TAC Optics division has come down to Taryn Butler surviving the difficult Stage 4. If Taryn can avoid any major penalties, he will claim the TAC Optics division win and the Rolex. But the tunnel proves to be a bit of a hassle for Taryn, and after his run is over, there is a penalty to assess.
The far edge of the stick, well past the edge of the black line.
Okay.
All right, so it's just the one penalty.
Taryn is not the fastest TAC Optics shooter on the stage, but he has done enough to protect his lead, followed by Rob Romero with Greg Jordan rounding out the top three. The open division goes to Clint Upchurch, holding off James Darst, with Jerry Michalak finishing third. Our congratulations to Taryn and Clint, as well as Kurt Miller for his win in TAC Irons, and Brian Ray taking top honors in the heavy metal division.